This year, on the final night of our World Voices Festival, the journalist Rana Ayub, who's here with us this evening, noted that despite having received numerous awards for reporting in the face of an increasingly authoritarian regime, the last thing she wanted was to be described as brave or courageous. "I am afraid," she said. Afraid not only for herself, but for her family and friends and colleagues. That Rana, like any of the more than 375 writers currently imprisoned because of their work, would be afraid seems, of course, obvious when you consider the extraordinary imbalance of power between a government and a single individual. When you remember the long history of death and detention meted out by authoritarian regimes against writers all over the world. Perhaps that's why then when we look to writers such as Galal El-Behairy, this year's PEN Barbey Freedom to Write honoree, we note first and foremost their courage and resilience, qualities that in times of crisis are often the hardest to find and the most difficult to sustain. And perhaps that's why when we do turn to them, we easily overlook or sometimes fail to remember that fear, the one emotion that especially in times of crisis is all too easy to find. As an organization committed to free expression, nothing speaks more to PEN America's roots as a literary organization than this award. It's through stories, poems, essays, songs, through the particular details of one writer's voice and imagination that we find our way to the universal, that we get a glimpse into the fragile, shared humanity that is ours. We know, in other words, that when we gather here each year to recognize the extraordinary endurance that the writers who receive this award have demonstrated, we do so because we also know that underlying the assault on their voice is the desire to silence all of us. While writers may doubt the value and purpose of their work, oppressive regimes know that the shortest path to eroding our collective freedom to write, to think, is to attack those whose lives are built out of language. And so we should be honest with ourselves. We should acknowledge that when we say or write, we stand with Galal El-Behairy. What we should be saying, and what I hope we will be able to say face to face one day with all our Freedom to Write honorees, is that we stand here not just with you, but because of you. That the loss of your freedom was met not with silence or indifference, but with a modicum of the same courage that has been asked of you. That is why what we do here tonight in presenting this award to Galal is so vital, why your generous support of PEN America is so necessary, why we call on the Egyptian government for the immediate release of Galal to his family and friends. This is our response to the silence. This is our response to both the courage and fear that make this award so necessary. Tonight's PEN Freedom to Write Award goes to Galal El-Behairy. This evening, as we gather here in New York, Galal has been imprisoned in Egypt for 7 years because of a song he wrote, satirizing Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and his poetry collection, The Finest Women on Earth, which was deemed critical of the Egyptian armed forces. Here to accept the award on Galal's behalf are his sister and father, Naira Galal and Abdel Fattah Galal. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage.